Yo guys, so in this video I've decided to make a quick live SMMA objection handling call breakdown. One of the recent calls that I took from my agency, right, I'll just show you the exact call, specifically the objection handling part, and then I'll just add some comments on top of it, why I say things in a certain way, just for you to understand what is my thought process behind each phrase and why I'm going the way that I'm going. I hope it will be fun. We'll see how it goes. Maybe you will learn something from it. Let's just dive in. So this call starts right after I pitched the whole thing. So I've showed the presentation, I did a price drop, and this is what the prospect basically says right away. And yeah, let's just see how it goes.
I think that all makes sense to me. Yeah, I think it. For me, I'm going to be away. I go away next week for a week, but then once I get back, mid-month in March is when I was thinking of pulling the trigger on something like that. So I think it works perfect. It gives me just a couple weeks to think about this, and then in the meantime, if you want to send me the information on what kind of documents and pictures and things like that you need, I can work on that, and then maybe hopefully by end of the month, then I'm good to go on my end, ready to spend the money. And
yeah, so as you can hear, guys, like it's not really clear what the exact objection is, because it sounds like there is a time objection, which is like he said, I don't want to do it right now, I want to do it later. But he also mentioned money, and he also mentioned that he needs to think about it. So I'm not really sure what is like the real objection here. So yeah, I'm just about to find out like what exactly he means. So probably I'll just ask some sort of like I know what I will say, but I'll just ask him what he means about that, just so I can see what is the actual objection for me to handle, and not kind of get distracted with everything that he just sort of said.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, we could set up some sort of like a call, like middle of March or something like that, because it usually takes like 7 to 10 days for us to set this whole thing up, right? So
Sure.
Yeah. So why I said that, like obviously I'm not planning to actually have a call with him, but what I said at let's schedule a call is basically for him to kind of let his guard a bit down, so that he will be open to kind of listen to me more, because right now he's pretty nervous because I just pitched him, and obviously I expect a decision from him. So he's like pushing back a little bit, and by saying, yeah, cool, man, like let's just schedule a call, it kind of lets his guard a bit down. So he's like, oh, okay, we'll have a chat later, but now, okay, I'm free, right? But this is exactly what I need, because obviously this way he'll be more receptive for the objection handling process that I basically have. But can I ask you, just before we hop off, I guess, I mean, and as you can see, I said, yeah, just before we hop off, just for him to kind of keep nice, keep it at ease, so that he'll be just more receptive to the things that I say. You mentioned you would like to kind of think over this and stuff like that. Can I ask you, like, I guess, what do you feel like you really need to sort of like go over in your mind, just to see, if I can help? Yeah, as you can see, right now I'm clarifying what is the real objection, right? So you don't want to sound here like you're like you're fighting with the person. Like it doesn't really make sense. He'll just get pissed with you. I know a lot of people say like, oh man, but like, what do you need to think about? Like I thought it's what you need, or some bullshit like that. Not like, except like aside of that, like what we want to do is we want to keep the neutral language, kind of keep, being nice, confident, collective confident, and then just ask and clarify, like, what does he actually mean by thinking about it in a way like this? Like, oh, what do you need to think about? Not like this, but more like, yeah, man, like, just let me know, like, what is that you feel you need to go over in your mind, just to see if I can help, because we always got to make sure that the question makes sense to them.
I just need to run the numbers to make sure that, this is, for the spend right away, what the return's going to be and everything.
Yeah.
Looks.
Yeah, so right now it's pretty clear to me. So it is a money objection, because he obviously mentioned the money, right? If I didn't clarify, like I wouldn't be really sure what type of objection I'm handling. Is it a time? Is it value? Is it the money? Like I don't know. But right now I know that it is a money objection. So right now what I need to do is I need to find out if it's the actual logistical money objection, where, for example, he just doesn't have the money or something is wrong with the funding, or is it a smokescreen money objection, aka the fear money objection? So yeah, with the next questions I will ask, I'll just define what type of the objection it is.
It was a little bit more than I thought, but not a lot more. So I think sure. I'm in the area where I want to be. Yeah. So I just need to project out and be like, okay, I'm spending this kind of money per month for the next few months. I know it's not going to happen right away, but then, looking at the return, looking at the bigger projects, where my break even is going to be and then where
Yeah.
this goes. So yeah, just
Yeah,
kind of run
sure.
that.
That makes sense. And can I ask you though,
Yep.
like, I guess maybe like money aside though. I mean, would you do it? So right now, why I'm saying this, first of all, I gotta make sure that he actually sees the value in the offer that I have, right? Because obviously, if they don't want to do this, like it's pretty hard to overcome. Like they will not be fighting over it, right? So I gotta make sure that we're on the same page with this. But another thing, why I'm asking this question is because I want to get him from the price-based thinking to the value-based thinking, or like the result-based thinking, because obviously this way he'll be like kind of telling himself why he actually needs to do it, and he will justify the price, for him to actually pull the trigger on it.
Oh yeah,
Okay, I can ask
I'm
you. I
ready.
guess why would you though? Yeah. So as you've noticed, what I said. Okay, money aside, would you do it? Yes, and then you immediately need to interject and ask why would he? Kind of the whole key with the objection handling is really to keep the like the thought process that the other person has from completing, right? So he kind of doesn't have the chance to actually complete this thought pattern, and you keep interjecting them. So this way you kind of can guide them the way that you want to have a conversation with, if that makes sense, right? Maybe it's not, but I hope you understand.
Why what?
I guess why would you? I mean, what maybe specific parts of the system like sort of make you feel that? I mean, it's actually going to work out.
No, I think this is something that I've thought about for the last couple of years,
Hmm.
and just haven't pulled the trigger. And
Yeah.
you're one of many who have targeted me, but I think you said all the right things as far as what you're looking at
So as you can see right now, he's basically telling me, but most importantly, he's telling himself why he actually needs to do it. Yeah, it's really powerful though.
from my end and how you're targeting clients. And it sounds like the type of client that I'm looking for. So I think that's a match.
Sure,
Um, and this is I need to take my business to the next level, and this is probably the next step.
for sure. And I mean, I definitely understand that like numbers could be an issue for you, right, based on what we've discussed. But I guess PJ, how do you think we can? Yeah. So this question, let me actually finish it. Sort of resolve that, for you to like actually kind of put the funds together so that like you can start having those like bigger projects, let's say coming in the next 3 to 5 weeks. Yeah. So with this question, well, first of all, you gotta acknowledge it, and you gotta say that, man, like it's not really a problem. It just kind of keeps the guard down. And then basically, what I did is I asked, okay, so PJ, how do you think we can resolve that so that you can actually get the outcome that he mentioned, X, Y, and Z, right? So this way, I'm kind of putting it back on him for him to actually solve his problem of having some sort of concern. Like, how do you think we can resolve that?
Yeah, if I can get a couple of projects in this spring, then absolutely, then it's all makes sense.
And as you can see, like I'm always mentioning the end result that he's looking for, which keeps, which kind of helps for him to stay in this result based. Блядь, да как это сказать? Which just helps for him to stay in this like result based thinking as opposed to price based thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess how would you like to go from there? Yeah. And then you like this is the only way I kind of close people. Like I never say, cool, is it credit or debit? Like it doesn't really make much sense. Like if an optional close works, then it's only because the person has made a decision already. Like it's just bullshit, right? So what I always like to do is I just keep myself neutral. Cool, man, how would you like to proceed? Right? So let's see what he says.
Um, so I'm going to be away the 8th to the 15th. Why don't we? And I'll make a decision before I go. Let's do that next week.
Mhm.
Send me the information that you'd need from me, and yeah, then I'll just say
Yeah.
go next week probably.
Yo, guys, and just a quick question. Like, how many of you guys at this stage will say, yeah, sure, man, let's schedule a call and let's meet in next week. And then you just hop off a call and you're like, okay, he'll probably close later, but then he just ghosts you. Like, how many of you motherfuckers will do that? Because I know that a lot of you guys, like, just don't even try to close people, right? Like, he's not really open right now. Like, he's pretty cold shouldered, right? But I mean, you'll see what I will do next. But how many of you guys will just stop right there? Just let me know in the fucking comments. Let's see what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's not a problem. Cool. So I'll just go ahead and send you the invite. As you can see, once again, right? Let me just go ahead and send the email. Like, obviously, I will not do that, but it kind of keeps the guard down. He was like, I'm about to go off this call, to kind of like take the pressure off myself, but No, really, bro. And actually, by the way, so with the budget you mentioned, can I just ask you? So, is it like the kind of the like upfront investment of 1,500 that is sort of like a concern for you? So here I meant to say 4,000, and I just said 1,500, just a mistake. Or just for example, if we were able to sort of like break it down into some like more digestible pieces, like I guess would that help you out more? Uh, why I'm saying this question is I'm still trying to find out if this is a logistical money objection or if this is something different. Because the logistical money objection is kind of the easiest one to overcome, really, because sometimes people will close if you just suggest some sort of like a payment option. By the way, as a side note, I always pitch PIFs, so paid in fulls for like X amount of time, like 3 or 6 months, because what it allows you to do is when it comes to objection handling, like you just ask this question: if we were able to break it down into some more digestible pieces, would that help you out? Which kind of like some people will close there because, oh, okay, sure, like I will do this if I don't need to pay the whole amount, and then you just break it into the monthly installments. And then, yeah, easy sell. So I got to make sure like the logistics of the money, of the budget are tied down. Because later on, I will go into the mindset reframes. But if I go into the mindset reframes without handling the logistics first, I can just piss off a lot of people, bro. Because like, for example, I'll go and beat him with the mindset on his head, but like, for example, he genuinely just doesn't have money. Like he'll just get upset with me. Like he'll like, bro, like you don't really understand what's happening, right? So I gotta make sure that we are clear on the terms of the payment plan, and only then I can move on.
It would.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I guess how would you like to do it, just to see if yeah. So if they say that the payment option could be an answer, then always ask how would you like to do it, because you'll be surprised, but sometimes people are like, oh, I can pay 60% right now and 40% tomorrow, bro. Like it could happen, right? But if you say, yeah, we can do 1,000 and then 30 days from now we'll do another 1,000, then like he will do it. But like, man, you can just collect more cash up front. In this case though, he just asked me what you were like what you will suggest to do, then I'll just suggest him a monthly installment option. We can actually do it.
So, I mean, if we did so for 3 months, I mean, I don't know, how have you done that before? Like, how have you broken it out to make it a little bit more palatable?
Yeah, for sure. So, what some of our clients do if they have some sort of issue with the budget, or they just want to make sure that it's like the right. You gotta say something like this, like you gotta, especially if you're starting out, like he will perceive that, okay, you have clients do this, it's pretty common, like it's not really an issue, just a small thing, but you can take an outright investment. What we do is sometimes they use like for example, like the payment plan as an option, right? Where we put the initial setup fee of like 1,500, and then we sort of take the rest of it, which will be like 2,500, and we just break it down into, for example, 2 or 3 payments, like 30 days from each, right? So that usually they can take the first project and then like just kind of reinvest back into it, right?
Right.
Sometimes they use like credit card as an option. Sometimes we use like PayPal credit, or sometimes they use like some sort of like outside funding, right? But yeah, I guess out of those kind of options, like what do you feel like you could potentially come up with?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes sense. So, like, if we were to start next week and I do 1,500 up front, and then what, a monthly on that, then it'd be a 25. Then after that, um, yeah, I could do that.
Boom. So right now I've just handled the logistical money objection. Now I can move on basically. So now like money is not an issue because we've agreed on the payment. Bro, fuck this camera, bro. Like I hate it. Okay, so now I've just tied down the logistics. So right now money is not an issue anymore. We've agreed on the terms of the payments, how much he will pay, when he will pay. So money isn't really a problem. So we can just move on. Usually, when it comes to like the rule of thumb, the next should be the logistical partner objection. But this guy doesn't have a partner objection. So with this guy, I'll just ask him, okay, so how would you like to go? And then I will not go too fast. Let's just listen to what he said. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. And can I just ask you, like in terms of that, so like aside of the budget, aside of the numbers, I guess what are the makes you feel that like probably next week will be sort of like the best time to start it? Just to see if I can help. Just wanted to clarify a bit. It wasn't really scripted, but I was just like, okay, let's find out.
I just, yeah, just to get myself, I usually like to just get off the call, make sure, check myself first.
Yeah, so right now, like at this point, it's 100% crystal clear to me that this guy has some sort of concern. So it is a fear-based objection, right? And so if I let him off this call, he will never close. Like he will never close because he's got some sort of a concern with his mind, in his mind, with his mindset. So it's my job right now to overcome that, because otherwise he will get off the call. He'll think about it even more, and he'll just talk himself out of doing that. So there is no way I'm closing him if he gets off the call. So I need to go and do my work right now.
And then go ahead with it. But
yeah,
that's
for
all.
sure. That makes sense. I guess, and obviously, like I understand, like it's a pretty big move for you, because like you used to do like mostly organic stuff, so kind of
Yep.
it is uncomfortable a bit, right? So this question right now, what I'm doing is it's like a bridging question, really, for me to go from the logistical part of the objection to the fear-based objection. Like you can't just go and start doing some sort of like a reframes without just setting it up, because it doesn't really sound natural. So for me, I'm like, I acknowledge that it is a big move. It is pretty common. Then I ask them for permission to ask a question about that. And once they do, then I just transition into the mindset reframe, which I'll explain to you just in a second. Can I ask you like a quick question about that?
Yes.
I guess, do you feel that our mindset, pretty much like the way we think with, is some sort of affecting the way that we make decisions with? Yeah, so this is like the bridging question I used to do. Now I do a different one. Now I do believe that we as people are the product of all of the decisions we've made, because especially with the type of prospects I'm dealing with, usually they're older people. Like they don't really understand what the mindset is, and it sounded a bit not awkward, but like a bit off, right? So this is kind of the thing I will change, but like it doesn't really matter that much, because I'm just setting up the next sort of reframe that I'll use in a second.
Say that again. I
Yeah,
got to
so
think
like,
about that.
do you feel like our mindset is some sort of shape in our decision making process?
Your mindset as a company.
No. I mean, just like our mindset as people, like as human beings, right? So usually we think in a certain way, and then obviously we make decisions in a certain way. So right now, if I break it down, he understands it. But essentially, the goal I'm trying to do right now, because obviously he's got some sort of concern, so I can't use logics right now to close him, because he will not, right? He's afraid, like he's scared of something. So the goal that I have right now is to basically take his point of view, use a reframe or an analogy to suggest like a different point for him to understand. So essentially what you will see next is I'll basically be just objection looping him, right? So I'll just use some sort of analogy, kind of mixed with some small logic traps. I don't really like using them too much, but I'll tell you what I mean. And then the goal basically is to overcome this state of fear, with him realizing that his kind of mindset is actually wrong, and like the way he makes decisions with doesn't really lead to something good. So we'll see how I do it.
Yes.
So right now he agreed with me. So right now he's in my world, and then I will just like, if he says yes to this, like there is only one way that he can respond to every single question that I ask later. So we will see why. It's kind of like a small logic trap, but it's not really. It's kind of just for him to reframe the mindset that he's had, which basically he's like, obviously, if he's not in the position with the business where he wants to be, which I'm blessed to have this guy, by the way, like will help him get really good results. And I'm happy he overcame this. Kind of spoiler alert for you. But if he agrees to this question, then he's kind of in my world right now. Like I'll be just shaping this conversation moving forward. We'll see how I do it. I guess, I mean, where I'm coming with this is like, would you say it's appropriate to say that like you and like me and you and just like every human being is like a product of pretty much all decisions that they've made, let's say like in terms of the business, for example?
Yes.
Okay. And can I ask you like just an anonymous question about that? Yeah. So
Sure.
let's say as you can see my facial expressions, like I'm concerned for him right now. So I'm slowing down a bit, and I'm concerned for this guy because I care. It might be like a cheesy question, right? But I feel like it's important here. So, for example, on the scale like 1 to 10, like 1 being terrible and 10 being like, I mean, it's amazing. I guess where do you feel like you are with the business right now? As you can see, I'm slowing down. My tonality is calm, collective, but it's also concerned because I'm concerned for this guy.
7.
So I'm not satisfied with his answer, obviously, because like if it's 7, like there is no urgency for him to take action. And based on the whole conversation we've had before this point, Like I know it's not 7 because like he's not really happy with the business. So I'm gonna challenge him on that. Okay. And so okay, can I ask you what will like 10 look like for you?
10 would look like 10 would be a lot of what we talked about, having a higher quality book of business, clientele, doing larger projects in more affluent areas, and having a better name recognition where I'm starting to get some organic calls from larger clients to do exactly the type of project that I'm interested in.
Okay. And I guess I mean if this is 10, I'll like well what is 5 then? As you can see, he understands it. Like he understands that it's kind of BS a bit, right? So let's listen to what I say.
Organic calls from larger clients to do exactly the type of project that I'm interested in.
Okay. And I guess I mean if this is 10, I'll like well what is 5 then?
5 is,
as you can see, like my tone kind of sounds challenging plus concern because I'm like is it really 5?
Is a slower economy with struggling to get work, having not many referrals, not many word of mouth, not much work coming in, and thinking about, where's my work going to be in 6 months to 12 months from now.
Okay. And like is it really 7?
Maybe 6, but yeah, it's over 5. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, like for sure, and that makes sense. And this is, by the way, like is this usually how you kind of make these sort of decisions? Like take some time to think about it, making sure it's the right decision, and then proceed or not?
Yes.
Okay. I guess like the reason I'm asking is again, like if this is the like the decision making process that you use that has kind of led you to where you are with the business right now, and you were saying it's like 6, right? I guess how happy are you for the same decision making process to shape your business moving forward?
I see what you mean. Yeah. Like if I want a 10, why don't I just make the decision?
Because like it's not really about like, first of all, I guess like you don't really have to do anything. Like we've discussed. So I'm pushing back a little bit. Like I'm not gonna say do it. I'm like, man, you don't have to do this. So that he will pull me in. He'll be like, no, I need to do this. Ask it later, right? But it's like maybe I can explain myself better because it's like. And so here I immediately went into the second reframe. So what you will see is it's called like an island analogy. I took it from Matt Whiter. Shut up, Matt. He's a savage. But essentially, usually what I will do is I'll go, okay, so what do you feel like you need to do to put yourself in the best possible position to achieve the outcome you want, right? And then basically with every single loop of objection handling, I will escalate this. So if I said this for the first time, then I'll go, the second time I'll be like, okay, so what do you feel like you truly need to do to actually push yourself in the best possible position to actually start getting those projects, start making more money, and afford this lifestyle for you and your family, right? So I'm escalating this. Then the next one I will say, okay, so what do you feel like you need to do tonight so that when you go to bed tonight, you know that you're doing everything you can in your power to actually fix your situation, get those projects, scale the business, and make sure that your kids are taken care of, right? So, and I just keep kind of escalating my tonality and what I say as well in terms of my words. It's really all about the perspective, right? So, for example, like let's imagine you're on like a desert island, pretty much, right, in like middle of nowhere, surrounded by like water, right? So, like every single decision that's made is based on the fact that you are on an island surrounded by water, with like limited resources. Like all you can see is freaking water, right?
Yes.
But to be able to see, I mean, for example, like business and life for what it really is, like you got to have a perspective of somebody who is like on a mountain, right? Because obviously, like the perspective of the guy on like Everest is different from the guy on like the ground zero.
Yes.
Right? So what I mean by that is there are like a couple of really tough decisions really to be made, right? First of all, even like to believe that the mountain is there, like it's already hard because you can't see it, right?
Right.
But I guess like for you, it's not the case though, because I mean, obviously we are in the call right now. You have the business, so like you sort of realize that there is more to be done than like just having a 9 to 5 or whatever, right?
Right.
But the second is actually choosing the direction, right? So you're like, okay, so
yes,
this is like the mountain is there, like I'm committed to this direction, but you can't really see the mountain still, right? And so what most people tend to do, and what most like designers tend to do, is they just kind of keep circling the island, hoping and praying that the view will change, right? But like it really never changes, right? So I'm basically reframing his perspective. so that he will be like, oh damn, like I'm actually wrong, right? We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
But the third is like once you choose the direction, once you commit to it, is to start walking. And this is like the hardest part. You know why? Because every now and then somebody drowns. And like this is like just the reality of like having the business. But this is what really separates those two. As you can see, like my tonality and my assertiveness right now is not better, but like it's on a different level than it was at the beginning. Like at the beginning it was really low key, but right now I'm emphasizing my words more with the way how I say them. If that makes sense. Succeed and those who don't. It's like those who succeed, they start walking. Right? So I guess my question to you, I guess like how much more time like are you really willing to, you know, spend kind of circle and dialogue? And I guess what do you feel like you need to do to like actually, because nothing is guaranteed in life, like that's for sure.
Right.
All we can do is we can constantly put ourselves in the best possible position to actually achieve the outcome we want. Right?
Correct.
So I guess what do you feel like you need to do to actually put yourself in the best possible position to where like 6 or 12 months from now, you're having this flow of 5, 6, 7 big projects and you just grow the business from there.
Right. No, I understand. It's good closing. I like it. It's just something I do. I just like to take a day to think about it. So
like how many of you guys will stop there? Like honestly, tell me in the comments. Like how many of you will be like, okay, yeah, this guy just thinks this way. That's a mistake.
But I'm in. Don't worry. I'm in.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I gotta say, like, once again, it's up at the end of the day, it's your business, right? And it's really not about like our program, right? It's right. Like it's just a blueprint. So this is like a very, very important part here because like I'm putting the pressure of my product of the exact system we have because it doesn't really matter, and we put it like on the problem of his decision making process. So it kind of makes like a flip, if that makes sense. It doesn't really matter, right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's like it's your decision, right? Yes. And like it's really common that this is the case, right? Because like what we do as people, we make decisions based on our perspective. And so this is my third reframe. This is just how it is, right? But like I would say the hardest thing to do is to make decisions not based on our perspective, but based on the perspective of the guy that we want to be, right? Well, for example, an overweight person is only overweight because they make the decisions as an overweight person. And there is no way they become a fit like a healthy person if they don't start making the decisions like, you know, as a fit person. Because like they have a completely fried like decision-making process around like fitness, like nutrition and health, right?
Yes.
So I guess for you, like to actually achieve this perspective that you want, like, I mean, what do you truly feel like you need to do?
No, you're right. You're right. Okay, then let's move forward.
Boom. And so, yeah, here I close him. He paid 1,500 USD. And then we have a 2,500 invoice that is, will be sent in like 2 weeks. He's onboarded. We're launching the ads like literally tomorrow with him. I hope it was a bit helpful for you guys to understand like this is the process I more or less do every single time with objection handling. So you just gotta make sure you don't give up on this, because especially if this is a fear-based objection, like you can't let him like let them go off the call. Like they will never buy. Like if it's logistics, yeah, it's a different story. Like if they genuinely don't have the money. But yeah, guys, so this was kind of the video. You know, it's a 4K deal, closed after 3 objection handling loops. Hope it was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. See you soon.